We have a complicated relationship with how we measure a person's value. We like to think we judge people strictly by their character, but society almost always defaults to measuring them by their bank accounts. Take Arjun, for example. He lives in a small village, entrenched in extreme rural poverty. He spends his days doing grueling manual labor. Yet, despite having almost nothing to his name, he maintains a baseline state of genuine honesty and contentment. Then two different metrics of value physically collide. A sleek luxury car grinds to a halt on a rugged, muddy road in Arjun's territory. Inside is Ananya, a woman from the wealthy city elite. Arjun steps in to fix the vehicle. He doesn't ask for a fee, and he doesn't leverage the situation to extract a reward from someone clearly capable of paying one. He helps simply because it's the right thing to do. This interaction reveals a core truth about human connection. Strip away the social posturing, and relationships are initially sparked by simplicity, honesty, and intrinsic goodness. Ananya notices this, and a genuine romance begins to form. If you isolate two people from the pressures of the outside world, a massive socioeconomic gap ceases to matter. Pure moral character becomes a completely sufficient currency to bridge that divide and spark love. But people don't live in a vacuum. Eventually, Ananya's wealthy family discovers this burgeoning village romance, and real-world expectations crash in. To her family, a partner's worthiness is not determined by heart or work ethic. It is dictated entirely by capital and strict social status. They deliver a harsh ultimatum. A poor laborer is unfit. In their system, Arjun's goodness is mathematically invalid. Faced with this rejection, Arjun doesn't argue. He doesn't try to fight a losing verbal battle against generations of entrenched classism. Instead, he accepts their metric, turns his back on the estate, and silently walks away into the night. Society's strict insistence on material wealth creates an agonizing position. An individual is forced to either abandon love entirely or attempt to conquer an impossible economic mountain to earn it back. Arjun chooses the mountain. He takes an acute, devastating heartbreak and channels it. He refuses to sink into despair, instead using that rejection as high-octane fuel for extreme ambition. The transition requires immense effort, but he relies on the exact same traits that made him an effective village laborer. That tireless work ethic, his unwavering honesty, and singular focus are now weaponized to navigate the corporate world. The sociological barrier is immense. Moving from extreme rural poverty to the top is incredibly rare, but Arjun's motivation is unique. Where others pursue profit, he is driven by devotion, giving him unmatched resilience. Years pass, and the effort yields results. Through sheer willpower, the dusty village laborer becomes a wealthy, successful businessman, overseeing a sprawling corporate empire. He successfully hacked the societal system. He acquired the extrinsic value demanded by Ananya's family, but he did it without letting the pursuit of money corrupt his intrinsic drive. Years after their abrupt separation, Arjun and Ananya finally cross paths again. Only this time, their two worlds collide on an equal socioeconomic playing field. Seeing him, Ananya is overwhelmed with joy, but it's mixed with a quiet fear. She knows the ruthless pursuit of capital often hardens people, and she wonders if the kind, simple man she loved is gone. Arjun sees this hesitation and smiles. He didn't work this hard to become rich. The money was never the objective. It was merely a required tool to become worthy of her love in the eyes of the world. This contrast shows how those two conflicting ideas align. By merging intrinsic devotion with extrinsic achievement, Arjun managed to break through a systemic barrier that was designed to keep him out. This clarifies the concept of worthiness as the intersection of character and capability. It is the specific act of maintaining one's integrity while building the strength needed to dismantle the barriers society puts in your path. Moved to tears, Ananya realizes he stayed true to who he was from the beginning. They finally embrace, reunited after years of relentless effort. Love, in this context, is an active force. It provides the momentum needed to overcome systemic odds and reshape a person's entire reality.